Hey guys, good morning and welcome back to another episode of Banish the Doubt. Today's episode is titled Definition is Reality. Definition, there is no definition of reality. Definition is reality. So anytime, positive or negative, we find ourselves in any type of a situation, okay, positive or negative, but I was going to focus more this morning on a negative situation. Anytime we find ourselves in a situation that we don't feel comfortable with, understand this: the automatic meaning that we have been taught to automatically give to a situation, the automatic meaning that we've been taught to automatically give to a situation is what automatically, instantaneously determines the effects we feel back from that situation. So, utilizing this technique in as far as negative. The reason we would feel negative in this situation is because the automatic meaning that we were taught to automatically give to that situation is the reason we feel that way. These are the beliefs that I've talked about in previous videos that we are carrying around with us, that we stole from somebody else growing up. So the beliefs are the beliefs of lack, fear, doubt, worry, shame, guilt, anger, hate. These are the beliefs that other people we've had growing up, we got from them. So that's the automatic meaning we've been taught to automatically give to that situation. Okay. So this is what instantaneously determines the effects that we feel back, the feelings we get. So the feelings we have in that moment are nothing more than definitions we've given to the beliefs. The definitions, the automatic meaning that we've been taught automatically to give. Okay. So, and that will reinforce the definition. So the feelings, so consider like almost like a loop that we're caught up in. Okay. So we're going around here. This is the emotion, and here's the belief or the definition. Okay. So the emotion, the belief and the definition, or actually I should put it this way: it's the definition that creates the belief that creates the emotion, and it's a loop. And here's our negative stimulus or situation. Okay, so it's our definitions that we've given this situation that creates the beliefs that then creates the emotion. So you can see how this is a loop, that we're an endless loop. Okay, so the beliefs reinforce the definitions that have created it and gave it the meaning to begin with, and you get caught up in a self-perpetuating cycle or self-fulfilling prophecy, an endless loop of spiraling creation and directions that you do not want. So the way we change this then is we understand how we're defining reality in that moment is what's doing it. So then if we find ourselves in a situation, let's say it's getting to the end of the month and we're realizing, wow, we have like just enough money or not enough money to pay the rent, or we find ourselves in a situation where we're just getting by. We're making the rent payment each month and we're paying for the car, let's say, whatever, groceries, and we have like zero money left until we get paid again. We're living how another one we talk about, pay check to paycheck, right? We live paycheck to paycheck, which means, well, in here, we're going to get broke. We're going to become broke. This definition of living paycheck to paycheck has people living in this spiraling situation in their life because we bought into this definition of how life is supposed to be, living paycheck to paycheck. Yet there are others who live lives where they have billions of dollars. Now, not necessarily maybe happy, but they have that. But it's a definition ultimately that they have of reality. And if you sort of peel those layers back, you're going to find that this negative stimulus, this situation, ultimately is the vision or the definition we have of ourselves. See, because there are people who live with definitions that I'm never in a negative situation. I'm always have perfect health. Maybe it's somebody whose definition of themselves is they're always in pain. I got the sciatica. Oh, I got that lower back issue. I always get headaches, migraines, right? It's the definition they've given their reality. So, so videos like this, books or what have you, help us to start to understand how we then break this cycle. Okay. So then here, this us here, the emotion we have is a positive emotion. The definitions of our life is that my life is always working out for me. Money easily comes to me, effortlessly, passively, residually. Okay. I am perfect health. I am fit and lean, and I only give myself a proper diet. I only make sure I put inside this engine, right? The oil that goes in here is of the cleanest, purest. Now, I'm not saying, you can't go and enjoy a birthday cake once in a while or what have you, but you understand that it's the conscious definition of reality, which is us. Our reality is us every single moment of every single day. This is the emotion, definition, and the belief that we have of ourselves. Because ultimately, this here, anything that's negative, comes back to who we are and how we feel about ourselves. What do we think of ourselves when we look at ourselves in the mirror? Okay. So what we've been taught to believe in our life is that if we don't like what we're seeing in the mirror, we have to somehow change that. We have to change the outside, right? So other people have to change in order for me to feel better about myself. You have to change for me to feel. No, that's the loop that we get caught in. The loop it's outside. It's all inside, guys. It's what we say to ourselves. So we start to change the dialogue that goes inside. Okay, the definitions that we give for ourselves. How do you define yourself? Okay, you look in a mirror and you say something along the lines of, my biggest fear about my health is whatever it is, whatever comes up, whatever the thought comes up. That's your definition that you have bought into. My biggest fear about money is just, listen to what comes up. That's your definition of the reality that you've bought into. That's this loop. Now we start to change that. When we start to change these definitions, once we start to do this, then serendipity start to show up in our life. We start to tell ourselves that we are worthy of having perfect health. We are worthy of having a type of an income that is passive and residual, that we don't have to break our back for it, right? Again, this is some of the language that we heard growing up. Working my fingers to the bone, right? Slave to the grind. I mean, that was a Skid Row song back in the day. But this is the societal conditioning, if you will, that has us believing these things. And then we find ourselves surrounded by events and people and circumstances that reinforce these beliefs, reinforce these definitions, that reinforce the belief, that reinforces the emotion. Okay? So today's message, guys, is take this with you. Definition, my definition is my reality, not a definition of reality, because reality is what we say it is in every single moment of every single day of our life. It is right now what you're thinking about watching me give this video, this presentation. Whatever you're thinking is your reality right now. And if you like it, then you continue to operate in a way that defines it, and then you find things that help to support that belief. So then that emotion comes around, and then things start to happen for you. If it's the opposite, if you're saying, I don't believe this, then that's your reality. Okay, so definition is reality, not definitions of reality. Guys, like I mentioned all the time, I bow to the light that's inside of you, because inside every single one of us is that light. Okay, so if I were to take this and put, let's say, a star, okay, that has rays coming out from it, okay, but the definition we have of our life is things don't work, things never seem to work out for me. All with my luck, things won't work out. Why would anybody ever say that? But people do say it, right? I just live paycheck to paycheck. Understand these rays, okay? The rays of who you are, the rays of self sufficiency and self worth and self confidence, um, and positive self image are what's emanating from this star. But this around here, this this blocking mechanism are these thoughts, okay? So as we start to remove these thoughts, okay, we start to reinforce these thoughts that are more positive, what ends up happening is little by little, those rays start to permeate, start to get outside of that blockage. Okay. So then we start to redefine who we see ourselves in our reality right now, which helps to establish belief systems, which in turn creates the emotion. And the emotion then helps to reinforce the definition, which see what I'm saying here, reinforces the belief. And as we do that, little by little, we get less and less in the way of situations that we find ourselves in that may be negative. But again, if we find ourselves, and we do, I mean, this is part of life, right? We're driving down the highway, we go to stop at a red light, and somebody's not paying attention behind us and they bump into us. It happens. However, if the mindset is this happens, and maybe they were in a hurry to get somewhere, they had gotten bad news or text message, rather than that stupid idiot, Christ, these people can't drive, right? You hear that? These damn people out there, nobody can drive right? That's one of the big things. All the way those people drive, right? We change that to my definition, my reality is this is fine, this will pass. I'm glad I'm so grateful that I have insurance, and I'm sure that person has insurance too. It's just very easy. We'll just take care of this and we'll be on our way. Right? I'm glad they didn't get hurt. I'm fine. I didn't get hurt. That type of belief system, that type of an emotion, that type of a definition, and more of these positive rays get out, and they start to take over our life. And then we start to notice that circumstances start changing, serendipity start to show up in our life, opportunities for job promotions start to happen. Whatever that you end up meeting that guy or that girl, or opportunity to ask that person out on a date starts to reveal itself. So all these things start to happen in our life because we changed the definition. Or the fact that we understand the definition is reality. Definitions are never of reality. Guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for viewing my channel, for subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you get all my videos, and for commenting down below. I'm truly honored and humbled by this, and I ask that you guys continue to watch these types of videos so this can be your reality, your definition of your reality. Have a great day, guys.